Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invests. For those of you who don't know, I'm Alex. I'm a business owner with a degree in economics, and I've been investing since I'm 18 years old. Once again, markets are green today, as we can see, and leading the charge is the EV industry, the hydrogen industry, and the other renewable energies. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Before we get into it here, I just want to say please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and it helps me create more content for you guys. Originally, I was going to talk about DraftKings today, but we'll save that video for tomorrow because I thought it was more important to go through the renewable energy run-up that we've seen in the past really couple weeks now, since the beginning of November and even earlier, and why that happened and whether or not it's going to continue for the future. I'll be going through some specific stocks as well as legislation for some of the reasons behind this huge run-up lately. So most recently in the UK, just 3 days ago, Boris Johnson came out with an announcement saying that by 2030, they want no new combustion engine vehicle sales. And by 2035, they don't even want any new hybrid sales. The UK also plans to meet its legally binding target of net zero emissions by 2050. And they've cut more carbon out than any other similar developed country as them. So they're really becoming a leader here, along with the US, China, and the EU. And this is one of the main reasons we're seeing so much gaining traction in these renewable companies, especially in the EV industry and the hydrogen industry, because they are the future. And I do see this trend continuing into the future for at least the next 5 to 10 years. So now let's just talk about the US for a minute, because they're really similar to the UK as well. They plan on no new combustion vehicle engine sales by 2035 as well. And EVs only accounted for less than 5% of vehicle sales last year. So we can see how much more growth some of these companies like Tesla and NIO, who's planning on going into the US as well, they already have headquarters in the US even, are planning to go, and how much further they're going to get. Now, there's also plenty of other companies that are looking to share this pie, like Lordstown Motors, for example, and other ones not even in the EV industry. Like, look at the hydrogen industry for a minute. We have Plug, we have Fuel Cell, we have Bloom Energy. These are all companies which are going to become even bigger than they already are because of this new wave towards renewable energies. Now, I can't talk about the US without talking about Biden as well here and the things he's planning on doing in the next 4 years of his term. So here we go. This is right on Biden's website. 9 key elements Joe Biden's plan for a clean energy revolution, right? And first he talks about Trump and what he did going backwards, but we don't need to go into that, really. The big thing here we want to look at is number 2 here. Look, work with Congress to enact in 2021 legislation by the end of his first term puts an irreversible path to achieve economy-wide net zero emissions no later than 2050. And that's again what we saw in the UK as well. By 2050, net zero emissions, economy-wide. That's throughout the US. This is crazy, you know? And this is why we're going to continue seeing growth. Rally the world to urgent and additional action. Another big thing we're going to see this worldwide. It's not just going to be in the US, it's not just going to be in the UK, it's not just going to be in China, it's going to be everywhere around the world. He plans to make a historic investment in clean energy and innovation, $400 billion over the next 10 years. Now, obviously, he can't guarantee that it's going to be over the next 10 years because he only has a term maximum of 8 years, but we'll see with this one. You know, this would, again, be a huge driver towards this clean, renewable energy. Accelerate the deployment of clean energy throughout the economy, and I'm not going to go through all this. I will leave the URL in the description for you guys to look through if you want, but this stuff is massive, you know, and this is why we're going to see continued growth in these industries. Now, again, China, we're seeing similar things. Again, by 2035, no new sales of gas-powered vehicles. By 2030, they want 75% of gas cars to be hybrids at least. So they're sticking with the hybrids. So now, again, that means good things for Li Auto as well. And we're seeing the same thing in the EU, all across the EU. Let me just show you guys another chart here that I have. So again, here we can see the country and the phase out year. Norway 2025, Denmark 2030, Iceland 2030, Ireland, Netherlands 2030. And, Sweden 2030, Slovenia 2025 or 2030, Scotland 2032. And we can see the average here is around sort of 2030 to 2040. We're going to see the complete phasing out of gasoline-powered cars. And that's why I don't see this industry being a bubble at all right now. A lot of people are saying, oh, we're seeing a bubble in the EV industry and the hydrogen industry because these stocks are just soaring. Well, that's not the case. We're just seeing legislation and implementation of us moving towards this EV renewable energy world. And that's what we need to see in order to save our world too. So we're seeing everything moving in the right directions here. And that's why we're going to see continued growth in these industries. All right, so now, like you guys know, I always do like to go into the charts for these stocks as well. So I'm going to go through some of the charts in some of these industries and just show you the run-up we've had and whether it's going to continue, some of the price targets I have for these stocks. So let's get into that. All right, so first, the year-to-date on NIO. Yes, of course, huge run-ups since basically June, July, right? We've seen huge, massive gains here, but it's not unfounded. Right now, if you do the math on the Q3 earnings, the price should be around $46 to $47. I did the math on this, guys. That is what the stock should be trading at right now. And we're at $49, and this isn't unfounded. I do see the stock hitting around $75 to $80 in the next 6 to 8 months, I think, because there is just this huge demand coming for these EVs and for this industry as a whole. Because of all this legislation that I just talked about, So I don't see that any of this is unfounded. We're going to keep seeing gains in these industries because they are still small and the markets are still small here. And in the next 5 years, the market isn't going to be small anymore for these. It's going to be huge. It's going to be over 50, 60, 70% of these new cars. So we'll look at the 6 month here for xpev as well. We started here on basically the 1st of November here, and at $20, and now we're up at $53, $54. Massive gains, right? But it's not a bubble. It's not unfounded. I had a price target of around right here at $44 for the stock within basically now or in the next month. And again, with these new legislations and stuff, we're going to see this continue to rise in China and around the world. Tesla as well, massive run up this week, It was at 412 around, and now we're all the way up at 490, 489 right now. And not unfounded again. Within the next 4 months, I see the price target for Tesla at around $525, $510 maybe, So it's not unfounded, and Tesla is, again, the leader, and we're going to see this stock make huge gains in the next 5 years. It's going to be way bigger than it is now. Now, looking at some hydrogen stocks in the US as well, again, since November, massive run-ups. Sure, yes, but not unfounded. Again, with Biden leading the charge to this renewable energy, this completely makes sense to me. There's been big news on Plug 2, and we're going to see this price continue to rise. Yes, $24 is pretty high for its current valuation, but we got to think a couple years down the road here, guys. Do we think that the price is going to be higher than $24.40? Of course we do. This is an untapped market, and we're just at the beginning. Price target for this stock in the next 5 months, it's going to be $30 to $35 at least here. Same with fuel cell. Sure, massive run up, and on no news, is this a little unsustainable? Maybe. Are we going to see a little drop in some of these? Maybe. Is it a good time to get in? Of course it is on these drops. It's kind of what we want to see to get into these companies. A little bit of a drop. I'll be buying more. I did sell a bit of fuel cell today, actually, and I'm hoping for a bit of a drop in next week or in the next couple of weeks so I can buy that stock heavily again more. And I didn't sell all my shares. No way. I sold not even a quarter of my shares, I think, in this company. But I figure we will see a drop because there has been no news and this run-up is a little bit unfounded. But again, do I see the price higher than 550 in the next 5 years? Yes, I see a price target for fuel cell even higher at around $12 to $15 on this stock is what I have. So again, huge run-ups. And let's just look at the solar stocks here, or one solar stocks, which is Renewable, which has been doing extremely well lately too since November. Again, massive gains. We went from around $3 all the way to $5.30, and it's not unfounded. So guys, I cannot stress this enough. We've seen the legislation. We see where the entire world is heading from here, and it's away from fossil fuels and away from unclean energy that ruins our planet. We're going towards renewables. We're going towards clean energy, and it's working, and we're seeing we have the technology to do it. And now is the time to get into these stocks, you know? People, I hear it's a bubble, you know, it's going to pop and we're not going to see as much gains. It's just not true. We're still, even now, at the very beginning of this industry and at the very beginning of making our world a clean future. And if you want this, these are the stocks we want to be investing into. We want to see this for our future and for our kids and for the continued growth of the entire world, you know. And if we don't do this now, then the world is going to be very bleak in the next 10 to 20 years, you know. So it's not a bubble. We're going to keep seeing growth in these industries. Is it going to be a bit of a rocky ride? Of course. We're going to see ups. We're going to see downs. Am I selling all of my shares in any of these companies? No chance. We are still going to see huge gains in these. Will I wait for a drop to buy more shares? Of course. I never buy on green days, guys. Never buy on green days. Hold what you have on green, buy on red. That is how you make money in the stock market. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I love getting comments, like I always say. And other than that, happy Friday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.